Hello children, welcome to science lesson 6. To begin with, I want to start with what we learned or what we looked at in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we talked about the effects of different materials on light. And under that, we talked about the different materials that affect light, which included, can somebody tell us? Yes, we had 3 of them. We had transparent objects, we also talked about translucent objects, and we talked about opaque objects. And in that lesson, we discussed how those materials affect light. But today, I want to just re-echo something about opaque objects. We say that opaque objects are objects which do not allow light to pass through them. And we drew a simple diagram of this kind. We drew this and we used this to represent our opaque object. And then we had light rays meeting the opaque object. Dear children, boys and girls, we say that when light meets an opaque object, 2 things can happen to that light. 1, that light can be reflected. That means that as the light strikes or meets an opaque object, it will be reflected. In that way, reflected means bounced back. It will be sent back, sent away from the opaque object. That is being reflected. Then 2, we say that that light can be absorbed. The light can be absorbed. Now, in the process of reflecting and absorbing the light, what will be formed? A shadow will instead be formed on the side opposite to that of the direction of light. So that means if light is coming from this direction, a shadow will be formed in the opposite direction. So it is basically opaque objects that form shadows. Is that one clear, children? Now, leaving that alone, today we want to learn about shadows. One plan about shadows. I'm very much sure that some of you like reading. Let me give you that opportunity to read what I've written on the board. Class, let us read the what? The heading. Yes, the heading is shadows. Everyone say shadows. Now, when you were young, and when I was also young, by now I've also ever been a child. I was not born the way I am now. I was one time a child. And being a child, there is something that really disturbed, something that really teased me a lot in life. It was one morning when I woke up from bed. I was actually trying to wash my face. As it is the case, every morning when you wake up, you wash your face, brush your teeth, and others. In the process of washing my face, I saw something dark on the surface of the ground. I had to stop washing my face and look at that dark picture or that dark image. And when I tried to move away, it started following me. So that prompted me to run away. So the more I ran, the more the shadow followed me. And it could not stop following me. That is what we call a shadow. It was my parents who told me that that is just a shadow. It does not cause any harm to you. And since then I learned that, okay, so this is just my shadow. Now, today we want to learn about shadows. Dear children, the first question that comes to your mind is, what is a shadow? And that question is very simple for us to answer. First of all, according to what we learned in our previous lesson, we said that when light meets an opaque object, that light is blocked and a shadow will be formed. Therefore, today we can say that a shadow is a region of darkness. A shadow is a region of darkness caused by obstruction. A region of darkness caused by obstruction of light by an opaque object. Class, what is a shadow? We have said that a shadow is a region of darkness caused by obstruction of light by an opaque object. That's what we are going to take as our definition of a shadow. Now, for you to be a good scientist, for you to be a powerful scientist, you should be able to ask many questions. And one of those questions that you must be asking yourself now is, how does the shadow come to be formed? Or how is that shadow formed? That is the question you must be asking yourself. How is a shadow formed? How is a shadow formed? Remember, from our definition or from our past statement, we say that a shadow is a region of darkness that is formed or that is caused by obstruction of light by an opaque object. So, how is a shadow formed? Therefore, I'm giving you boys and girls time to think. How is a shadow formed? Or what causes a shadow? I can see some of you are very ready to answer. Boys and girls, a shadow is caused, or a shadow is formed. A shadow is formed. A shadow is formed through. A shadow is formed through obstruction. I want you to take note of the word obstruction. You should be able to write the correct spelling of the word obstruction. It comes from the word obstruct, which means to block something. So a shadow is formed through obstruction of light. Through obstruction of light. Now the question is, what blocks or what obstructs the light? That is an opaque object by an opaque. Obstruction of light by an opaque object. Class, how is a shadow formed? A shadow is formed through obstruction of light by an opaque object. That means light coming from a source meets an opaque object. It doesn't go through an opaque object and then finally a shadow is formed. Now, when a shadow is formed, some shadows have only one region, whereas others have two regions. Now, the two regions of a shadow have got names. So let us talk about the regions of a shadow. Regions of a shadow. Regions of a shadow. A shadow has got two regions. But to begin with, when you look at a shadow, it can have a darker region, a region which is darker, and the other one is lighter. They are all parts of a shadow, but one of them is dark, whereas the other is lighter. Therefore, there are two regions of a shadow, and one of them is umbra. We have a region of a shadow that we call the umbra. The umbra. And then we have another region of a shadow that we call penumbra. penumbra. So we write the word pen, then we join, we add the word umbra, and that becomes penumbra. So these are the two regions of the shadow that we have. The umbra is the region of the shadow which is totally dark. A region of the shadow which is totally dark. Whereas the penumbra is that region of the shadow which is partially dark, or that region of the shadow which is lighter. We can actually illustrate the two regions of a shadow using a simple diagram. We can draw our shadow just like that. Remember the two regions of the shadow, we have the umbra and we have the penumbra. Now you find that the umbra is at the center, whereas the penumbra surrounds. The penumbra surrounds the umbra. So we can go ahead, boys and girls. Can we name this region of the shadow? We have said that this region of a shadow is called the umbra because it is the one which is totally dark. Then the other region of a shadow is called the penumbra. Penumbra. Why? It is partially dark. Now, boys and girls, we cannot just stop at this. We need to understand the depth of all of this. We need to understand how the umbra comes into existence and how the penumbra comes into existence. So therefore, boys and girls, we need to know what the umbra is, how it is formed, and what the penumbra is and how it is formed. So boys and girls, allow me to take you through the first region of the shadow that we call the umbra. I want to ask all of you, boys and girls, to sit upright and listen. Wow, that's great. I can see you setting yourself. Prepare also your ears, prepare your eyes, and prepare your mind to understand this very well. Now, when we talk about the umbra, it is the region of a shadow which is totally dark. Why is it totally dark? It does not receive any light. That region of the shadow does not receive any light. There is total obstruction of light by an opaque object. There is nowhere where the opaque object can pass. Sorry, where light can pass. Is that one okay, boys and girls? So we need to know what the umbra is by saying that the umbra is a region of a shadow. Is a region of a shadow which is totally dark. A region of a shadow which is totally dark. Like I said, that this region of a shadow is totally dark because it does not receive any light. Not even a single ray of light reaches that part. Therefore, we conclude that that region is called the umbra. You can also say that the umbra is a region of total. The umbra is a region of total darkness. The umbra is a region of total darkness in a shadow. A region of total darkness in a shadow. Remember, we have said that that region does not receive any light. That's why it is totally dark. Now, dear boys and girls, there are two instances, or there are two scenarios, there are two conditions that lead to formation of a total shadow, or the umbra. And one of those conditions is when light from a small source is blocked by an opaque object. There are some sources of light which are very small, and the light they produce can easily be blocked totally by an opaque object, and that leads to formation of the umbra region of a shadow. We are saying that how is the umbra region, how is the umbra region of a shadow? How is the umbra region of a shadow formed? How is the umbra region of a shadow formed? So we can underline our question. And we are saying that there are two ways through which the umbra region of a shadow is formed. One is when light from a small source remember, if you don't call it a small source, you can also say a point source. A point source of light. A point source of light is a very small source of light. When light from a small source is blocked, when light from a small source is blocked by, now what blocks that light? An opaque object. So that is one way through which the umbra is formed when light from a smaller source is blocked by an opaque object. We can illustrate that using a diagram. For example, we can draw here our small source of light. Take it to be a small bulb. Remember, in the under electrics and magnetism, we learned about an electric bulb. And you also notice that there are some big bulbs and others are very small. Now, a small bulb can produce very little light that can be totally blocked by an opaque object. So if this is a small source of light, if that's our small source of light, and here we have got an opaque object, that is our opaque object. And then we can have here a screen, or we can have a wall. So as this source of light is produces light, that light will move from the source. Remember, light, one property of light is light travels from the source to all directions. Now, as this light moves this direction where there is an opaque object, that light is blocked. And when that light is blocked by this opaque object, a shadow, the shadow of this opaque object will be cast on the screen, or will be formed on the screen. But that shadow is totally dark. That region that is formed is totally dark. And that region of a shadow is called the umbra. We call it the umbra. So that is one way through which the umbra region of a shadow is formed. Another way through which the umbra region of a shadow is formed is when light from a small opening, is blocked. Remember what blocks light, boys and girls? When light from a small opening is blocked by an opaque. Is blocked by an opaque object. What does that therefore mean? That should light get out from an opening that is very small and it gets blocked, still the region of a shadow that will be formed is the umbra. Let us look at how that happens using a diagram. If we have our source of light placed, let it be a candle, for example, and it is placed in a box, that candle will produce light. But if this box has got a small opening, a very small opening, some of the light from this burning candle, will pass through that small opening. And should there be an opaque object on the way of that light, that opaque object can block all the light coming through that small opening. And therefore, still, our shadow will be cast on a screen. It will be cast on a screen. So this is our opaque object. Opaque object. So how will the light rays move? They will move from the source. Through that, they get blocked. Through that. And what will be formed on this screen is a region of total darkness. And boys and girls, what we call that region of the shadow which is totally dark, remember, we call it the umbra. So that is how the umbra region of the shadow is formed. One, it's formed when light from a small source is blocked by an opaque object. Two, it's formed when light from a small opening. When light from a small opening is blocked by an opaque object. Are we together, boys and girls? Thank you very much. Now, that was all about the umbra region of the shadow. We would like to go to our region of the shadow number 2, and that region of the shadow is called the penumbra. It's called the penumbra. Now, the penumbra is a region. The penumbra is a region. The penumbra is a region of partial darkness. Partial darkness. When you look at the umbra and the penumbra, the umbra is very dark, but this one is just light. Or we can call it partially dark. A region of partial darkness in a shadow. And why do we say that? Why do we say that the penumbra is a region of partial darkness? It is partially dark because it receives some light. In other words, it receives little light. The opaque object does not block all the light completely, but some light passes at its sides. And therefore, when light passes at the sides of the opaque object, that will form a shadow. But that shadow will have two regions. It will have both the umbra and the penumbra at the same time. Boys and girls, what is the penumbra region of a shadow? We are saying that this is a region of a shadow, or this is a region of partial darkness in a shadow. We can also say that this is a region of a shadow which is partially dark. Partially dark. Not totally, but partially dark, somehow dark. Now, how does that region of the shadow come to be formed? In other words, how is it formed? How is the penumbra region of a shadow formed? Wow. We can action. Yes. So our question is, how is the penumbra region of a shadow formed? How is the penumbra region of a shadow formed? Remember, boys and girls, we have looked at how the umbra region of a shadow is formed. Now, we also want to go ahead and look at how the penumbra region is formed. There are still two circumstances, or two scenarios, or two conditions under which the penumbra region of a shadow is formed. And one of those conditions is the penumbra shadow, or the penumbra region of the shadow, is formed when light from a large source is blocked. When light from a large source is blocked by what blocks that light? An opaque object. An opaque object. Class, let us read that statement together. When light from a large source is blocked by an opaque object. It is just like we're giving the opposite. Light coming from a large source. What do you mean by large sources of light? We can talk of the sun. Remember, the sun is the largest source of light here on earth. We also have some large bulbs. All of those, should any light coming from those large bulbs from the sun be blocked by an opaque object, what will be formed is a shadow. But that shadow will have two regions. It will have both the umbra and the penumbra. Is that one clear, boys and girls? Therefore, we would like to simply illustrate. We would like to simply illustrate how that happens. Using a diagram. How does that happen? We have got a source of light. It is a bulb. But that bulb produces light. Remember, light travels from the source to all directions. Now, if this source of light, which is large, produces light, and there is an opaque object, this is an opaque object. This is a large source of light. Large source of light, and this one here is an opaque object. So if we have here our screen, or we have the wall, what will happen is light will move from there, from the source. Some of the light will be totally blocked. Now, the light that is totally blocked will form a darker region of the shadow that we call the umbra. But there is some light that will not be blocked. Some light will not be blocked. And what will happen is, if some of the light is not blocked totally, some light will not be blocked. And that light which is not blocked totally will form a lighter region. It will form a lighter region of a shadow that we call the penumbra. So there we shall have a shadow, but that shadow will have two regions. Boys and girls, the shadow will have two regions. It will have one region which is totally dark. That region which is totally dark is called the umbra. Whereas the other region which is partially dark, the partially dark region is called the penumbra. Penumbra. So that is one condition under which the penumbra shadow is formed. Why is the penumbra shadow formed? Because some light, that part of a shadow receives some light. Is that one okay, boys and girls? That region of a shadow receives some light. Whereas where there is the umbra, there is totally no light received. That's why we call the umbra as a region of total darkness. Is that one okay, boys and girls? Yes. Now, another condition under which the penumbra region of a shadow is formed is when light passing through a large opening is blocked by an opaque object. Still, boys and girls, when that happens, still our shadow will have two regions. It will have a darker region and it will have the other region being partially dark. Just like this. Let us take an example of this level. We have a candle which is burning. We have a candle which is burning, producing its light, but the source, actually the opening through our box, let's take this as a box, inside there is a burning candle. The opening through that box is wide. So what will happen is, if there is an opaque object on the way of that light, remember the light is passing through a large opening. So if there is an opaque object on its way, and we have our screen or our wall there, what will happen is, some light will be blocked totally. Some light will be blocked. Some of the light will be blocked totally. Some of the light gets blocked totally, and that light which is blocked totally forms a region of total darkness, which we call the umbra. Whereas at the same time, some light will not get blocked. Some light will not get blocked. That means some light will dodge the object. And that light which does not get totally blocked will form another region of a shadow, and that region of a shadow is called the penumbra. So boys and girls, if I put here letter A and I put here letter B, which region of a shadow is marked with letter A? Yes, that region of a shadow is called the penumbra. Whereas the other region of a shadow, which is totally dark, is called the umbra. So boys and girls, that is simply how the penumbra shadow is formed. Now, you must be asking yourself, why are we learning about these shadows? What is the purpose of us learning about the shadows? Boys and girls, shadows are very useful in our daily life. They are useful. And I want you to think about some of the uses of shadows. To you, how do you benefit from them? How does your father benefit from shadows? Let us look at the uses. Oh, let us call it advantages of shadows. Advantages of shadows in our daily life. Advantages of shadows in our daily life. How do we benefit from shadows in our environment? How do we benefit from shadows in our environment? I want you to take an example of a tree in your photo. What is it producing? When light shines on you, what happens? The shadow is formed under it, and that shadow is shade. So, once we can say that shadows provide shade to people. When? This one here, he likes sitting under trees because of the presence of fresh air. So shadows provide shade to people. Not only people, even animals, our domestic animals. So let's say shadows provide shade to people and domestic animals. Our animals can rest under the shades of trees. Well, thank you very much, boys and girls. Now, that is one. Number two, shadows can be used. Shadows can be used to tell time. In the past, we did not have watches. We did not have clocks. We did not have phones. How were we able to tell time? We would just use shadows. I remember when I was in primary, we would just target. You get out of class and then you go and measure. You check your shadow. Then you are able to tell, okay, it is now about lunch time. We would just use that to tell time. We can use shadows to tell time. And then three, actually, you can estimate time using a shadow. Then we also have shadows can be used to tell direction. Shadows can be used to tell direction. You can know that, okay, the eastern direction is this side, western direction is the other side, just basing on the position of your shadow. So boys and girls, we have talked about three advantages of shadows. One, we have said shadows provide shade to people and their domestic animals. Two, we are saying that shadows can be used to tell time. And lastly, we are saying that shadows can be used to tell direction. Now, finally, we would like to also, because everything, most of the things we have in our environment have advantages and disadvantages. Therefore, we would like to talk about the disadvantages of shadows. Disadvantages of shadows. Remember, from the beginning of this lesson, I told you that shadows made me to run away. And I would run, and the shadow would also follow me. Now, one of the disadvantages of shadows is shadows cause fear, especially at night. When you are moving alone, you can sense or you can see your shadow and you feel somebody is following you. What will happen? You will automatically take off. You run away from your own shadow. But I'm telling you, you cannot defeat your shadow. It will run after you and it will always be attached to you. The more you run, the faster you run is the faster it will also run. So shadows can cause fear at night. And then two, if you have very many dark places around your home, those dark places will act as hiding places for wrong people, especially thieves, and also other dangerous wild animals. So we can say that shadows are hiding places for thieves. I want you to look at the situation at night whereby you have enough light at your home. But there are some corners around your home that are dark. I'm telling you, that's where the thief will hide. Where you will not see the thief because he's in total darkness. He's in a region of the shadow that we call the Alhambra. You will hide there, and by the time you enter your house and start sleeping, that's when your goat will be taken. That's when your sheep will be taken. Even your pig will be stolen from there because of the presence of dark places in your compound. Now, lastly, boys and girls, remember in primary 3 you talked about shadows. You talked about the time when the shadow is long, the time when it is short. I am going to just ask you, I'm going to give you an activity.